In this video, we're gonna switch things up a bit.
Nothing's blown up yet. Welcome back to the Wildwood build. What are we gonna move on to next? Great question. There's a lot of interior stuff that we have to do, plus a lot of little things we have to do. We've got our mechanical to put in, we've got our plumbing to put in, and we've also got our electrical to put in. All the things that make a house function. The only thing is I'm still trying to figure out my mechanical stuff. Kind of like, Kyle, you should have had that figured out before building. We're just gonna figure it out. So we're gonna work on some electrical. Usually you'll go through and you'll put your electrical in last, get all the big things out of the way, then get the small things in, because it's easier to work the small things around big things versus big things around the small things. Well, we're just making sure we're not running anything to get in our way. What we're working on right now is you can kind of see a hole in the house. We have a panel, and where's our meter? The meter is right there. We're gonna be hooking all that, getting all that onto the house. We've got copper rods to hammer into the ground. We're gonna fill this area up with some dirt. Should have done that with the skid steer, but you know what? It is what it is. To mount those boxes on the side of the house, I'm gonna take a piece of plywood and put that on there, and then I'm gonna go around it with some 1x2 furring strips, make it look kind of pretty. Perfect.
Glue in one piece.
You may not pass that. If we come in here, and our wire is going to land here, here, and here.
Oh, you can't come in here?
No, because you need to land here, so there's no room for it. These are typically mounted on this side.
Oh.
Sometimes they'll pass it, but most of the time they won't. And then our linemen, when they show up, if they can't get it in, they'll just leave and make you have it changed anyway. So it's one of those things where even if the inspector inspects it, because honestly, no code that says you can't do that. But as you probably know with inspectors, code, they can determine what they want is okay and what they don't want is okay. So I just, just to give you a heads up, I would, if I were you, I would switch it around. You're going to be way better off.
Well, the Lord knew we needed information today, because if we didn't, we could have really failed a big part of our electrical. The engineer from our power supplier said that we were putting things on a little backwards. We needed to put the meter on the left-hand side of our main disconnect, not the right-hand side, because of where they come in. Luckily, he came by and said that. So we tore everything down and we're switching it around. Not a big deal. Better right now than when we're going to get an inspection and it fails, and now we have, so it's all right. The main power from our house is going to be coming in from our master bathroom and then down through the floor over to the main panel. Right there's the opening. We needed about a 4-inch hole. We'll take the main line and we'll run it down, and then we'll go through the floor joists. Right there is where the main power is going to come out, and then through the floor system. It will go all the way to that box. I mean, this thing is monster wire. You were saying?
Easy peasy, I got the first one done.
Uh-huh. We'll see how difficult it is to feed it through those holes. Now this is going to be the tricky part because we're near that bend. There's this one and then we're going that.
I think that we're going to have to pull like 6 feet down
And try to angle it out.
twist it.
All right, well, we'll try a little bit and see what we can do. I don't know if I can pull that much down. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Are you pushing it all? All right, I'm trying to pull. 6 feet.
Yes, wait. Yep, you're doing that. So we need the big cable to come up through that hole and out through that place in the wall.
Running into some minor issues. Trying to get it to go, okay, hold on. Trying to get the wire up to the main floor is just a little challenging with the 2-inch hole at the first floor joist. To make that hole bigger, no problem. So we're just gonna make it bigger so that way I don't damage any more of that casing.
Two more feet of this, and then let me try. Gotta come out straight as possible. That's all of it.
Oh, was the other one too small or big?
No. It works just fine. And now we have greater appreciation for what Kent said with regards to his guys coming out and like, no, we're not gonna try to run our wires in the same space that they ran their wires in.
Yeah.
All right, I was thinking about that 100 amp breaker we'll put in here for the garage slate. If we're gonna come in on that far upper right-hand corner, we gotta stick the breaker on this right-hand side.
Now it's the garage. So we've kind of come to the realization that filming electrical work is very difficult to make exciting. We don't have an electrical plan. I mean, we do, it's kind of up in here. We're just following the rules of what the electrical code states, and we're saying, okay, well, what seems to make the most sense? What do we want as we're going about it? We kind of drew up a plan, so we have a rough idea, but it's very fluid. It's kind of hard to record everything, but I'll show you what we have already done and kind of explain it to you. Okay, so we are not off grid. This is the service, this is the panel disconnect, or the main disconnect. It's called a pass-through or a feed-through. It was just cheaper than having a main disconnect, but it's important because we have this breaker up here. That's the main breaker. That shuts off the power to the house. Michigan code does not require us to have this if our main panel in the house is 6 feet away. Well, our main panel in the house is probably 50 some feet away. So that doesn't work. But we have our meter panel here, okay? We have our wires running through. We have 2 hots and a neutral. Now, we were told that we didn't have to necessarily ground into the meter. Our ground is actually over in here. And it's this wire running up and in there. That's where we end up grounding. You've got your 2 hots here and your neutral that run from the meter, and they go up. You have 1 hot here, 1 hot here, and a neutral. And you have the neutral that goes into the house right here, and then the 2 hots that go into the house right here. And all of that then goes inside. And inside the house, we've got our meter. Well, sorry, not our meter, the main panel. This wire, that big wire going straight down, is the main power. And it runs all along in the floor system to that main disconnect. So with working with this, I mean, it's a 4-aught cable. So you've got 4-aught, 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 2-aught, which means it's just the size of the wire. It's a massive wire. This thing does not like to bend or work very nicely, but it comes all the way along and up through the floor and out the building. So just like you saw on the panel outside, you have a hot and a hot and then a neutral. Then this big wire here is a grounding wire that gets grounded. Now this wire here is a service wire for our garage. And so then you see, the wire comes through, and it's just like all the other ones, 2 hot to neutral in the ground. We need to get a bar to ground this guy properly. And then this will eventually have power and breakers, and everything in the garage will be strictly on this. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Yeah, this is pretty cool. Or it's exciting anyway, because that right there means we now have power to the house. Yes! No more having to run a generator. That is so exciting. This is so cool. The orange pipe there is for fiber optic, so that way we can have Wi-Fi to this house. It's so exciting. This is fun. But yay, now if I really wanted to, we can turn power onto the house and start putting in some outlets. The first thing I want to do though, check it out.
So what are we doing here today?
It's a surprise.
No, it's not. We're getting our garage door open.
Well, we have power now.
How are you doing that?
I'm putting wires in.
Where's the electrician?
Great question. You're looking at him, which I have a question. Where should I put this guy? I know it's on this. Doesn't matter where.
I would stick it,
Well,
halfway down. So is that panel hot?
nope.
How do we know?
Because I haven't even turned the breaker on the outside.
Okay. You see how this is kind of a diagonal angle down here?
Yeah.
Make everything really
Straight.
straight angles. So in this case, I would bring it over here, and then I would actually pull this guy.
Where would you say I should cut that? Right here? Or right here? There?
Cut it long, and then if it's too long, you can always cut it short. Or do glue extra copper on.
That looks good. Hard to glue copper. Didn't think I caught that. So there are 2 little spaces that it looks like a wire can fit and get pinched. Does it matter if it's on? Is it specifically so that way you can run a?
So, yeah, some breakers are built so that you actually could put 2 on a single breaker, but in general, don't do that. One wire to each breaker. Now, think about the way that the screw twists, and always stick it on the side where the twisting of your lug screw will pull the wire in more. If you put it on the bottom part and you're twisting that in, the tendency will push it out. Okay, so what do we need now? We need guts up in that box.
Wire runs all the way. Garage door open.
Push it back up and then strip the last 6 inches.
Bet.
Yeah, even a little more. Leave the excess up in the attic.
So like that.
Yeah, cut your last 6 inches off your wire and call it good.
Dad, where did you learn how to do electricity?
My dad.
Really?
My dad taught. Well, my dad did it.
Grandpa.
Grandpa Green.
And he was not an electrician.
No.
Just a pastor.
Preacher.
Tell I don't know what I'm doing.
Hardly.
Yeah, if I did it in the other house, it's because I.
Don't you have wires on that?
Yep, but this is working.
The benefit of a wire
Is you get the right size and you can just pinch
don't have
and
to worry about actually
damaging the wire.
damaging the wire.
You've been warned.
Does it matter which screw I put it on, top or bottom? Because I know that you have one that would cause power to go in and out, right?
So, here, let me show you something about that. There is actually a little metal clip right here.
Yep.
Okay, and it actually connects these 2 lugs together. And so the answer is no, it doesn't matter in this situation. which one you do.
Yep.
However, this receptacle is built in such a way that you can clip this, and now you can have power running to this one that is actually on a different circuit from the one coming here.
Wow.
So that's an interesting thing. I didn't know that for the longest time. The other thing is you can pull the incoming power to one leg and the outgoing power to the other. But here at this box, as long as it hasn't been clipped, they're one and the same.
Okay.
You got us plugged in.
Never again.
Nothing's blown up yet.
On to the next breaker. We have 1 out of 5. I mean, all men should know how to build a house, right, Dad?
I think so.
Oh yeah, don't touch that.
Oh gosh.
That would hurt a lot.
This is so exciting. What? I can't believe we have power. No more generator. That predator.
No, God.
Oh my gosh. How cool is that? Thank you, Dad.